Okay, this is our latest episode of True Wrestling Fans Discussions. We're going again with our top 10 match series. This is going to be going over Demolition. I'm your host, Mike.
And I'm Frank, and I really I had a real fun time doing this one. I had to go back and kind of I took some points off on certain matches to where I thought it should be in the top three, but for whatever reason the ending or just whatever it kind of some of the matches kind of came back. There's no honorable mentions here. These were literally just their 10 best. Everything else was Vince destroying them, and it's not worth mentioning in here at all.
Mm.
So unfortunately, I really wish I could have did a top 15 or 20. Maybe I was kind of hoping maybe I had a longer run, but it was what it was. So let's get into it right now. Number 10 on the list, WrestleMania 5, the 3-on-2 handicap match, which we've talked about. This should have just been straight up Demolition Powers of Pain.
Yeah.
I love the feud. These were two of my favorite teams in the late 80s. The Demolition successfully defended the tag titles against Powers of Pain. Fuji took away from the match, which is why it went down so low. Once this match happened, this was Powers of Pain pretty much being buried, and then Deja Vu happens to Demolition when LOD comes in.
Yeah.
If anybody noticed the pattern.
I thought it was a good match, especially with Fuji taking their finisher.
Yeah.
But I think the match would have been better had Demolition remained with Fuji and remained as heels
Yeah.
and continued with the babyface story of the Powers of Pain.
And cause I love them as
Yeah.
the baby faces. I mean, even though we talked about it in the review, the Baron was there for like literally 1 minute, but even without the Baron, they were still a dominant force to be reckoned with.
Yeah.
And yeah, Survivor Series, it kind of hurt when we had all of a sudden it was kind of like a trade.
Yeah, I didn't
Fuji dumps the tag team champions and goes with Powers of Pain.
didn't make sense.
Just went back to bite them in the ass because they
Right.
never took the titles off them. But yeah, if they would have just left it the same, it would have been even
Mhm.
better. But otherwise, it was a good match.
Still a solid match.
Yeah. Number 9 on the list, SummerSlam 1990. And I hate to put them in a top 10 with it in a losing effort, but unfortunately, even though that was a great match, but they came up short thanks to the Legion of Doom. Demolition defended the tag titles against the Hart Foundation. And the only other thing I didn't like about this was when Demolition now all of a sudden had the 3 members because Axe's health was depleting. So that was the reason why. It took me a while to get used to Crush being in it because I was always the Axe and Smash guy. But I've said it before. Hart Foundation and Demolition always put on great matches. This was a 2 out of 3 falls match, which was classic for tag teams back in the day. The only bad thing about it, which a lot of fans loved because it was the debut of the Legion of Doom, distracting Demolition that cost them the tag team titles. That was the only other thing that bothered me is because Demolition gets the belts at WrestleMania and then 4 months later you just took it right off of them. I mean, were they just placeholders between Colossal Connection and Hart Foundation? I don't know. But otherwise, it was a good match, and that's number 9 on our list. Here's one that most people may not know about on number 8. It was from Saturday Night's Main Event in 1990. It was Demolition defending the tag titles against the Rockers. And this was, I believe, I want to say it was July Saturday Night Main Event. It was a month before Survivor SummerSlam because they were talking about it. And there were already the 3 members of Demolition there.
Mm-hmm.
Shawn Michaels and Marty Jannetty, even though they came in as tremendous underdogs in this match, they put on one hell of a fight against these guys, and they almost pulled it off to where the crowd was going nuts because you couldn't get any closer. It was 2 9/10 when Shawn Michaels had the pin on Smash.
Yeah, poor Rockers, man.
I know, man.
They were always this close.
Later on that year, we talked about it. They were the tag champions against the Hart Foundation. I don't want to show it. It was a bad match. Then redo the match.
Yeah.
Don't just. Oh man, they were just jinxed.
Yeah.
Tag team specialists. They never had a thing to show for it. But they took Demolition to the limit, even though Demolition successfully defended the tag titles in this one. So kudos to them for that.
Yeah. Saturday Night's Main Event, you always had such good matches, man. In between the pay-per-views and everything.
Yes. I still wish that, remember they brought it back 15 years ago in 2006, but it wasn't the same.
But
I really wish they bring it back now.
Do you know what this is the real problem? It's not special anymore because you have
I
Monday
know.
Night Raw and SmackDown. And remember, we only used to see jobbers on Superstars and on Wrestling Challenge. So
And you only
seeing
had the four pay-per-views, so it was
right,
limited.
so you'll never be able to rekindle what Saturday night's main event was, unfortunately.
Man, those were so. I
Yeah.
remember as a kid putting a towel under the door so the parents couldn't see the light from the TV
Hmm.
because in New York it started at 11:30 at
Yeah, it
night,
was late. Yeah,
11:30 to
after.
1.
Yeah, was it after like the Tonight Show or one of those?
Yeah,
Because it was on Channel 4. I remember it was NBC.
yeah, it was an hour and a
Well,
half, 11:30 to 1, and I'd have the volume down as low as I can, and so they can't hear it, they can't see it, and I'd be watching this, and I just loved it, man. They always they put on the matches that were just perfect for this.
yeah,
So, but yeah, you're right. It'll never be the same.
no.
So we go number 7 on this list on Wrestling Challenge in it was March 1991. So unfortunately, it was right before their utter demise. It was Demolition versus the Legion of Doom,
I remember this.
and this one was I really wanted to put these two tag teams in here. I had to find this was the best out of the bunch.
Right, yeah.
And unfortunately, it was all a clean sweep from Legion of Doom.
The problem was that Legion of Doom didn't want to sell anything,
No, they
and they
didn't.
didn't want to put. They really didn't want to put Demolition over. So you weren't gonna get, what you could have gotten had everybody wanted to do business.
Unfortunately, this was the best match that Demolition took them to the limit before getting the loss, and this was right before their ridiculous match at
Yeah, and
WrestleMania.
this is when Fuji came back, right? Wasn't Fuji
Yeah.
with them for like 2 seconds?
hmm
Yeah. This was that.
Fuji came back. Actually, well, he was with them at Survivor Series 1990. He was with
Was
them
he?
up until the end. Yeah,
I
he
don't remember.
wasn't with them at WrestleMania 7, I don't believe. Yeah, he wasn't at ringside. I don't remember
Hmm.
seeing him. I could be wrong, but I really don't remember seeing when they fought Kenru and Katawa. Why they fought him, I don't know, but I don't ever
This is
remember
like,
seeing him there.
yeah.
But yeah, he was with them at ringside here. But unfortunately, again, I had to find the best loss against Legion of Doom. I
Yeah.
needed this match in there, and it didn't. They didn't look good in it, but they took them to the limit for whatever value that is. Anyway, number 6. A lot of people don't remember this one because this was at their start of them being the badasses. It was on Superstars of Wrestling, May 16th, 1987. This was when they faced the babyface Islanders.
Hmm.
This was the start when they came in of them whooping everybody and taking names. And this was just dominant from. I remember Jesse Ventura was commentating on this, and he goes, "Are we going to see any offense from Haku or Tama? I mean, what is going on here? They beat them like they were jobbers." And Demolition proved that they were a force to be reckoned with here. And the match wasn't even that long. I mean, seriously, it was like under 5 minutes. And actually, no, I'm sorry, it was 6 minutes 3 seconds. And they just destroyed the Islanders. And the Islanders weren't even good until they got with Bobby Heenan because as
Right.
baby faces, everybody ran
Oh
over.
yeah.
And I couldn't even get used to Haku being a fan favorite. I'm sorry, it just doesn't work. So number 5, SummerSlam '89. The big, huge poundage in this ring is why I really like this match. It was Demolition and King Duggan. Let me get that right for him versus the Twin Towers and Andre the Giant. Where was the beef? What was in this match, ladies and gentlemen? Oh my God! And this match was just—I don't know about you, but I really enjoyed this. I didn't like the fact that the tag titles weren't defended
Yeah,
at
that's the only
SummerSlam,
that's the only thing.
because the Brain Busters there fought the Hart Foundation at that SummerSlam.
Yeah.
Not only did the Hart Foundation didn't get the tag title match because they were fighting them, but Demolition didn't even get their rematch
Right.
at this point. So, but I did like the fact that they were starting the feud with Andre, and then you got Akeem and Bossman. I think the combined weight in the match was 1,089 pounds
Oh Jesus.
between just that team alone. And then you have Axe, Smash, and Duggan's no lightweight. So, and Demolition and Duggan were the victors in this one, but I really did like this. There were 2 6-man tag team matches at SummerSlam '89, and I liked both of them. The other one involved Santana and Martel, But this one is just like you couldn't find six bigger dudes to put in the ring. This was a great match. Number four, and I really should have put this higher, and I'm kind of kicking myself about it, but right now it is what it is. WrestleMania 4, Demolition challenging Strikeforce for the tag team championships. Another match they completely dominated.
Yeah.
And this was where Martel was having some personal issues. So they needed to drop the belts so that he can get out of there and tend to his stuff. So they had later on they did an injury storyline with him. So I mean, it's I'm not saying that it took away from the match to where Martel didn't care. They held their own, but ultimately Demolition just destroyed them in this match at WrestleMania, and that was the first reign as tag team champions for them. So again, I'm looking at it now and I'm like, man, I should have put this in the top two. But when I show you the top two, you'll know why. Number 3, SummerSlam '88, Demolition versus the Hart Foundation. Yep. Now, I could have put this higher except for the finish. It was a cheap shot, megaphone, justified because Jimmy Hart was with Demolition and feuding with the Harts who had just left him. So that's why it's where it's at on this one. Demolition kept the tag team titles, successfully defended against the Hart Foundation at this one. Before the ending, it was a great match, up till the megaphone.
Yeah,
I didn't care for that. I wanted a clean, not a clean victory from a heel, but as clean as you're going to get. But at least that finisher. But we didn't get it. There was a megaphone, wallop to the head. Demolition keeps the tag belt, still proving their dominance. Number 2, and this was one of their best matches. And this tag team always brought the best out of everybody, and they did that with the Rockers, and they tried that, and they did help Demolition a little bit as well. November 4th, 1989 on Superstars of Wrestling. And I don't know about you, but what is it with Demolition and losing and winning tag titles on Superstars? They can't wait till the pay-per-view. It's always got to be on a Saturday they do this. Demolition becomes the 2-time tag team champions when they challenged the Brainbusters for the belts.
Yeah.
And this one, they got the belts back. And this was the best out of the 3 matches these two teams had. And Arn Anderson and Tully Blanchard, man, they brought the best out of the Rockers that year and out of Demolition. They knew how to make you a tag team. And I'm not saying Demolition wasn't that before this, but it definitely helped going forward.
They fit right in. Those guys fit right in the 80s with all the great tag teams.
Yeah.
They fit right in.
Coming out of the Four Horsemen, coming right into WWE. Unfortunately, they didn't stay too long. It was only a year.
I think that happened on Superstars because they were getting ready to leave. I think they had already given notice that they were out the door.
Plus, wasn't there something with was Tully Blanchard? I don't want to say it was a drug issue or something, but because remember they pulled him out of Survivor Series '89.
He was injured, I think. I think he was hurt.
Injured?
Yeah.
Because I know Arn, like literally after that match, his bags were packed.
Yeah, they were already out the door. Yeah.
It was only a 1-year deal before they went back to WCW. But all in all, great match between the two of them. And my number 1 on the list, a lot of people might agree with me with this. WrestleMania 6, the Colossal Connection defending the tag team titles against Demolition. Now, the reason why I put this as number 1 is because Demolition did something that up until this point, no tag team had ever done, and that's three-peat. Become the 3-time tag team champions. Obviously, now you can do that in a month.
Right, pretty much.
But back then, this was unheard of. Now, there were guys that were multiple-time tag team champions, but with different partners, like Mr. Fuji. There was never a tag team that literally had it 3 times. And Demolition was the first one. And the match could have been better, but Andre was just out of it. Haku did what he could. But this match is holding number 1 to me on merit, mainly because they became the 3-time tag team champions.
Yeah, that was a big deal. That was huge back then.
If this wasn't a 3-peat for them, this would be down in the lower numbers.
Absolutely,
believe me.
That makes sense.
So that's my Demolition top 10. If anybody thinks they can think of another match, and believe me, I've watched a lot of Demolition matches over the last 14 days. So if you think there's one else other than that could have been in there that could rival it, or if you don't agree with the numbering, please comment and let me know, and we'll talk about it.
All right. So that's our latest episode of Top 10. We'll be coming up some more Top 10 soon. So make sure you guys like, comment, share, subscribe. We'll see you guys soon.
Take care, everybody.